Bro, throwback. I don't even think some people. I don't even think.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
I did not see that coming. All I see were two nips right in front of me. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Alrighty, there we go.
I did not expect the nipple.
Oh, you mean
You have a little like tape over it. You're like this.
It's just a little door. He wants to say hi.
I'm just kidding. You can't say that because I'm wearing the hat. Did I make it look like I went to like China or something?
I guess right? any part of the world that's sunny, sure.
Sunny. This is like purely Asian, dude. This is a purely Asian hat.
Oh my god, I'm out of breath. That's how I'm old. That trend is half my age.
February, I looked it up. February 13th, 2013. Dude, there's a lot of trends that came on. This was before TikTok. This was when Facebook wasn't for old people.
Remember when trends were like fun and like a whole production? Now anybody can do it. It's not, the production value is low.
Dude, okay. Okay. This is crazy. Dude. I'm going to show you. Like, I don't know how you orchestrate something like this. Look at this. Is this
what we listen to?
There's a whole classroom. No classroom. What the fuck?
Bro, how?
How do they do that?
Oh my god, that's insane.
Like that's what we went to in college, and then COVID hit.
That's classic.
I know.
COVID will be a classic too. We just don't know it yet.
You say COVID. Hey, remember that COVID trend?
Remember when we all just like lived in our homes and didn't leave?
I still do that.
You remember Clorox swiping a banana?
I will be your Clorox wife. And I know in this climate, you might.
Okay, I'm happy you remember the lyrics because I don't. I remember the song though.
That song still plays in my head like once a week. It lives rent free.
You know, Chromeo, the guy who made that song, is actually a really talented musician.
He's actually really fucking good looking. That's what I know.
Yeah, he's pretty sexy.
It's pretty sexy.
That's not fair. It's not fair when like there's the triangle of life where you can either be like really smart, really good looking, or have like a cool social life. Over here, sure.
Really smart, really good looking, or Asian. Correct me if I am wrong.
There are some, I would say there's some Asians who have all of it in the triangle. Oh. But I was going to say, you can't always get like all, ooh, what's this? I'm kidding. I was trying to do an Illuminati thing. It's so hard to get the three, you know, like you always got to sacrifice one of them. That was kind of like the thing in college. And then there's just people who are born with all three sides and more. And it's just, it doesn't feel fair. But you know what?
Good looking.
Oh, damn.
Look at that. Look at that man. Damn.
That's not what I meant to do. Okay.
Good looking, rich, talented Jack Sparrow. Not all of us can be born like Johnny Depp.
That's true. Not all of us have the audacity to try to be Johnny Depp.
Dude, that's crazy.
And not all of us, let's be real, not all of us can shit the bed that great.
Like Johnny Depp or like Amber Heard?
I was gonna say Amber Heard. You ruined my joke.
You know what my friend told me?
Hmm.
He said, I didn't even know Amber Heard was in Aquaman. So I don't know. I like thought about it. I was like, I don't think she was that big of a deal.
Dude, I don't know any other movie that she was in. I knew, and I found out after the fact that it was her in Aquaman. I just figured, oh, it's just another actress, that I don't recognize. There's a bunch of those. No, it turns out this lady was trying to catch Johnny Depp in the act this entire time.
Okay, so she's in Aquaman, she's in Justice League. Okay, what's up with these movies that she was in?
She was
The
not
Rum Diary, I've never heard of that. London Fields, haven't heard of that. Danish Girl. Okay, I've heard of the Danish Girl. I haven't seen it. She was a Magic Mike.
She was the server, just the waiter.
30 seconds of fame. Syrup. What kind of fucking name is it? The Joneses. Okay, I have not seen any of these movies.
Yeah, I don't think besides Aquaman, I've ever seen an Amber Heard movie, and especially not ever gone because Amber Heard was in a movie.
Yeah. It's crazy though that okay, so that's how you know if someone's like a mega star versus just like a star, because people would go see Pirates of the Caribbean for Johnny Depp, for his character Jack Sparrow, but like not a lot of people would go to see like a movie for, and not just Amber Heard, but I don't even know who to use as an example, like Shia LaBeouf. Like I wouldn't go to see a movie just because it's Shia LaBeouf.
You put some fucking respect on Shia LaBeouf's name, bro. Shia LaBeouf.
That's also another old trend.
Shia LaBeouf was literally in his own parody. You can't top that.
He was, and he clapped for it. He had a big beard. He looked homeless. Yeah, he's an interesting actor, man. He's an interesting person. He's one of those people that you like meet on the street and you're like, I think you might be Shia LaBeouf, or you're just a homeless person. Like if I met Shia LaBeouf on the street, I'd be like, not quite sure.
Do me a favor and shout really loud and run. I think you might be Shia LaBeouf.
Say Bumblebee. What? Say Bumblebee.
Speaking of people you could meet on the street, hello, welcome to this episode of Boys on
the Edge.
I am Brian Orillo.
NJ Yazan. And man, it's been a while. This is episode 6 now. It's been a while. We took a little bit of a hiatus. Hiatus? Hentai?
Yeah. And not only did we take a small hiatus, we decided to grab today's topic from the peak of pop culture at its finest moment, right when it's the hottest it can possibly be. Isn't that right?
Plus 2 weeks. So we took something that's the hottest that it could be and then added 2 weeks to it.
It's our thing. We didn't talk about Will Smith for like a month until after the slap. Let's talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard for a bit. Yeah.
This is the trial of the century.
This century, not like any other century.
Not any other. That was OJ. It's not OJ's trial, but it was wild, man. It was wild because the jury found that Amber Heard committed defamation towards Johnny Depp.
Yeah, essentially.
And she's gonna pay up. I think it was 15 million, right? That's what was the initial.
That was Johnny Depp's part. I don't remember what she sued him for, and I believe it ended with her owing him, according to the judge, 10 million, and him owing her 2 million.
2 million, yep.
So I don't know why they didn't just say Amber Heard owes Johnny Depp $8 million, but yeah, that's how it worked out. She was found guilty of defamation on multiple counts, specifically not just this one, but specifically the one, the op-ed piece, I believe in the Washington Post or something like that, where she essentially told her story of abuse and implied that Johnny Depp was just beating her up and doing all these abusive things for the last for their entire marriage. And
Mm.
I didn't know, I don't know about you, but I didn't know that this goes all the way back to like 2016, right? It's a lot further back than just these past couple
Yeah.
months of the trial. And admittedly, I'll just go ahead and say this, raise your hand if you didn't know that the trial was like going on until like during the trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you did know?
I heard that I heard that Johnny Depp was suing her, but I didn't know I didn't know it was going to be televised. I didn't know it was going to be like an OJ trial.
That was surprising. And maybe a point we'll touch on also is that this very high profile celebrity versus celebrity case was televised. It was live streamed, every single minute of it, on YouTube, and I think on regular TV also. But there have also been at least one other high profile case that I can think of that was not even publicly like described to just regular citizens like us. And that was Ghislaine Maxwell, right?
Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a criminal case too. So it was a little bit different because it was a criminal case, I think, right?
Yes.
Because this one is a civil case. I think that's what they're called. So like no one's going to go to like jail. I think that's the difference. One's just you pay up a lot of money. The other one is you're going to jail.
Bro, Amber Heard doesn't have $8 million. You should definitely put her in jail like right now. Don't even give her a chance to appeal. Just like, nope.
Did you see these memes and these posts about Amber Heard starting an OnlyFans after the trial? Or like going into the Squid Games? It's so stupid after that happened.
She opens an OnlyFans for people who have a kink for crying when she makes no money.
My dog stepped on a bee.
If you haven't seen our YouTube short, excuse me. Wow, I can't believe out of all the things I said that first. Our TikTok, YouTube short are real. All the other versions of short, all the other names for short video now, go check it out.
You should check it out right here. And Brian, put your hand right there.
I'll be very surprised if you figure
out other side.
I thought it was mirrored. Damn it.
Oh, it's right there. Other
right
side.
There.
And then it'll pop up on the side. Watch it not. I'm not even gonna fucking put it in there. We're just gonna be holding nut sacks. Yeah, so that was interesting. What's more interesting, I think, is that I thought about a little bit about the situation, and I think it was just a very toxic relationship on both ends. Mm-hmm. Now that doesn't give Amber Heard.
Yeah, I think it'd be fair to say, even before we talk about like everything that Amber Heard did or tried to do, it's fair to say that Johnny Depp was also not, a man completely in control of himself. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to say that's okay, but it's also very human, and Amber Heard absolutely tried to take that, unfortunately, not so good human side of Depp and turn it against him and accuse him of things that he wasn't guilty of, and creating stories and things that just didn't ever happen.
Yeah, she accused him of sexually abusing her with like an alcohol bottle, which is
did she accuse him of pushing her down the stairs, or just that she was afraid that she would get pushed down the stairs?
He was, I think that he was going to. I think that was the reason why she hit him, or as her story is, she hit him. And then she said, oh, it's because when he got angry, I just immediately thought of Kate Moss. And then there's videos of the lawyers going like, yeah, Kate Moss, right? Like they were cheering because now they can bring in Kate Moss. And I didn't even think they brought her in. I think she volunteered. I think she volunteered to do that testimony to say that Johnny Depp never pushed her.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever like asked her. Like maybe she just straight up was like, "Oh, sure, I'll testify for 30 seconds."
Yeah, it's interesting because every person that came up to the stand for Johnny, Amber was like, "Oh yeah, they're lying." Like the guy who was the manager, right, for the I think it was like the
NJ
hotel or whatever that they were at.
if you, oh wait, the manager. I was thinking of somebody else. I'm sorry.
You're
Go
probably
on.
thinking of somebody else. No, but it was the manager
Yeah.
that they said, or he said, that Amber was the one who was a little bit aggressive and a little bit mad at Johnny, and Johnny was just cordial the whole time, and Amber was like, yeah, I don't even know that guy, and everything was just either they were lying, or the lawyers, Amber's lawyers, made it sound like it was them trying to get their spotlight, like the guy from TMZ, which was,
oh my god, that like instantly backfired on the lawyer.
Yeah, you want to see that one?
I've seen it. No, I know.
I think some people have seen that one. That was pretty snide comment by
This is like your 15 minutes of fame, right? Oh, absolutely not. Like, I'm sure, just like the guy said, that TMZ was like, watching this very closely only because their name was now in the spotlight of the case.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he didn't get sued.
No. Okay. Now, if you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for
can't.
speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not aware. Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer.
Damn, that's pretty hardcore. Pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Camille Vasquez girl is a pretty damn good lawyer.
Camille Vasquez can litigate me anytime she wants.
Don't say that. We're gonna get sued. You can litigate me anytime I want. Are you Mr. Brian Arillo? Yeah, you just got served. Sorry. So it's interesting though, because like it shows you that the job of a lawyer is to tell this story, right? To tell the story about certain facts, and that's why only certain facts are allowed in the courtroom.
And not only is it that you're telling the story for your client, but the questions you ask have to fall in line with that story. You almost have to, you have to expect what the witness or whoever it is you're examining is going to say, because that's yeah, for sure. Like, I noticed that the questions that each side asked was very focused on what they're trying to prove, which makes sense. It's the whole point of being a lawyer. But that just sounds hard, man. Like, I feel like you got to be, if to be a good lawyer, you have to be maybe like 2 steps ahead of whoever it is you're talking to at any given time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you gotta. Well, yeah, because it's the questions have to be specific, but also not leading, right? Like you've heard the objection. Oh, objection, leading, right? You're leading the person that you're questioning into a certain answer, right? Like the classic. I think people do this. Does your mom know you're gay? Right? Like, oh, it's leading, right? Because if you say yes, does she know you're gay, right? And if you say no, then she doesn't know you're gay, right? So that's it's a dumb example that people use, but the questions have to be very.
That's such a good one on this. It was such a good question, good lead for what your example. Such a good leading question, like right on the spot, and during Pride Month too.
I just want my discount, man.
That's true. I think I've been.
I want this video to be monetized, please.
Yeah, I will literally eat a rainbow.
He meant his penis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're gonna cut that out. We're not gonna have that on there. Just FYI. I might have at the end when I said he meant his penis. Yeah, but it's interesting because like the OJ trial, right? Like that OJ trial. we had to prove that the other side's story was false, but also that we have this story, right? So it's not just proving the other side wrong, but also proving your own story to fill that gap, right? And it's I guess it's just how people work, right? People understand things in like a story type of sequence. So, like, right, if you come into a house, right, and the house is it's empty, the doors are open, and there's like red blood or paint on the walls, and you have no idea what's going on, you're just going to start to immediately form a story on that. And either, someone had an accident on the paint and they had to rush out to go to the hospital because of the accident, or someone get murdered and they're getting buried outside. Both of those are highly, if you really think about it, both of those can be a possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But
and we've I was going to transition into the next point, but I don't want to cut you off just yet.
No, but it's the story, right? Like, who gets to tell that more realistic story that the jury will believe?
Yeah, and probably probably just as important, if not more important, I guess, is the story that's being told it's not defamation. It's a story of abuse and whether or not it did or didn't happen. That's what's being, that's what Johnny Depp is being defamed of, I guess, if I'm using that word correctly. And this is only I don't know how many years since the start of the Me Too movement, but that's still kind of fresh in everybody's minds. Like, everyone knows what the Me Too movement is, and to have a case like this now between two, well, at least one high profile celebrity and his ex-wife,
who is also a medium profile celebrity.
Yeah, class C or less or below. To have this story that one is trying to prove was true, the other one is trying to prove his innocence. There's been talk of not only on like the Today Show and like celebrity gossip shows, but like actual political shows, or like political talking heads from Fox and CNN and like all these channels, talking about like, what does this mean now for the Me Too movement? Like, is it going to damage it or not? Is it going to make it harder for women to want to stand up and say that they are a victim of abuse when this person just went in front of TVs and all these people in court and all over the world and claimed that she was abused when in fact she just wasn't? And there's all this proof that proves that she wasn't, but yet she's sticking with her story. It changes the climate to some degree. Although, and this is, I'll finish right here. I will say that as scary as it is, there still should not be more fear added on because of this trial if you're telling the truth.
Yeah, see that's interesting, because it's like, because you can also make a case that if people can just say, I'm not saying that, a majority or even, a big chunk of people that are coming out because of this Me Too movement talking about their abuse are lying. But even if we just okay a small amount of that, doesn't that kind of mar the I guess the what's the word I'm looking for? The credibility of people that are coming out that are telling the truth, right? Because it's like, if there's no checks or like balances on what someone can say, and anyone can just say whatever and everyone should believe them, right? Doesn't that like just kind of mar the credibility of someone that is coming out and saying, hey, like, someone abused me?
Yeah,
right.
Obviously I see the point of saying, believe women. I get that. I totally do, because, up until this case, it really felt like more women were hopefully able to feel like they can stand up and talk about their stories, But now after this case, I get also the same fear of like, well, are we still able to stand up? Are we still able to do this without backlash of people just saying that, oh no, like you're probably lying, you know, like, because that's like almost like a new precedent now.
Yeah, but see, the fact that it had to, so here's the thing, the fact that it took an 18-day trial to prove that someone lied, I mean, that should be, a testament to, it's not easy to just point at someone that said they got abused and say, hey, you lied. The amount of money to prove that Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp and wasn't telling the truth, the amount of witnesses that had to step forward, right? Like it took a lot for them to prove that, it was a complete farce, it was a complete lie. So I mean, that should prove
time, money, and resources
Yeah.
that the majority of people just don't have.
Yeah, and that should prove, by the way, that it's still a strong movement, right? Whether you agree with the Me Too movement or movements like that, the fact that it took millions of dollars to disprove Amber Heard and what she did, and manpower and woman power, whatever, right? For them to disprove it should be proof that it's hard to disprove that someone is lying about abuse, right? And that should be, I mean, it should be it should be understood that way. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I see it. Like it's
no, I can see it. I can see it both ways, but I do see your point.
Yeah.
It's a heavy one. It's a heavy topic.
Yeah, because on one side, like how much should we just say, yeah, just because someone said it, we should just believe it, right? In a sense, like that destroys the credibility of everyone saying it, right? Without checking whether or not something is true, like that kind of destroys the credibility. At the same time, you don't want to make it too hard for someone to stand up and say, hey, this thing happened, right? So it's like, where does the balance lie? And it, I think in this case, I don't know, maybe it's just me because I watched the whole or a majority of the trial, but it took a lot for them to say, hey, Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp. Like it was a lot of, proof for that to happen.
And I don't know how much this is. So this is obviously the heavier side of this topic for today's episode. I don't know how much more we want to get into this, what I'm about to say now, but it's worth noting that we've been talking about Amber Heard this entire time, essentially. We mentioned Johnny Depp. Yeah, we mentioned that he's part of this. He was the one who was accused. But right now, we're still talking about, not only Amber Heard, but like all women who are involved in some kind of situation that's like this. When in fact, the one who was really the victim here was Johnny Depp, the one who was completely destroyed socially, fame-wise, probably not money-wise, but like his entire life changed because his ex-wife told everyone that he was beating her up.
Yeah, and that he sexually. That's the thing too. She came out and said that he sexually abused her with a bottle. Like that's, I don't know if you've seen that part of the trial.
I think so. It sounds familiar. I don't remember seeing it like live or like an actual video of her saying that, but like probably in some account somewhere like, for like what happened in today's trial, I probably read that.
And I'm not saying that it happens all the time. It probably doesn't even happen like a big part of the time, but it happens. It happens where someone lies or exaggerates a certain thing or makes up a certain thing and puts it in between certain truth. I'm pretty sure they were in a very toxic relationship.
It's like a sandwich of lie, truth. Like because of how dysfunctional their relationship must have seemed to everybody in the real world, at the present time, and how even more dysfunctional obviously it is now because of the trial. I don't know. She might have thought that it would be easier to make this her lie when this like the bigger cover story is, Johnny Depp drinks a lot. He does drugs. He's not the most stable person. And because of that, or partially because of that, our relationship was very rocky and had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of scary moments. You throw abuse into that, it almost sounds like it already belongs there, right?
Yeah. And she, dude, she made up some evidence. I don't know if you've ever seen the them interviewing or questioning the guy who was analyzing the photos. There was a photo of her with like it looks all bruised up, and the other photo was just normal. And the guy was like, "Yeah, this was taken at the same exact place, at the same exact minute, at the same exact second. So it's impossible for this photo to have been two different photos with lighting difference. And it even had the same name." So it was just, I don't even know how you can get away with making up evidence like that.
Yeah, couple more, right? I think there was a picture of a spilled bottle of wine or something like shattered on the floor, and that was supposed to be from some, abuse example number one. And then they used the same picture for what was supposed to be a completely different day, a completely different year. And they said they're different pictures, but they were obviously the same picture. My favorite one was when the guy from TMZ talked about the original video that was submitted to TMZ. Yeah. It didn't have Amber Heard setting up the phone. It didn't have her smirking at the end. It didn't have a lot of stuff that essentially showed her trying to set up Johnny Depp. And I believe during the trial, they ran the whole thing that actually showed the video. And I'm pretty sure it was the TMZ guy. If not, it was somebody soon after.
It was the TMZ guy that said that it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was obviously edited and not submitted in its entirety originally.
Wasn't she like smiling?
She has like a smirk at the end. She's like, kind of like that.
Yeah. I think too, like context wise, it's like his mom had just died. That's why he was angry. I think, or his mom. I don't think his mom died. I think his mom had a disease or something like that. It was something that happened.
I don't know this part.
Yeah, something happened to his mom around that time. So he was, he was in an angry state. And I'm not saying that, again, like it's okay for him to be a toxic person, because it's funny because it's like he would get angry at Amber and then like say, "Oh, I love you so much." Like that's classic cokehead. And not gonna lie, Johnny Depp is a major cokehead. Like you can tell from the way he talks. It's just kind of slow and
I don't even know what's going on right now, but I think it's okay. That's more McConaughey than it is Depp.
Sparrow.
Some other funny parts of the trial. All of Amber Heard's witnesses,
they're fucking crazy. They're insane,
dude. I was at, but by the time her psych expert, I think that was like her third witness or something like that. By the time that guy made it to the stand, I was convinced they were finding random people off the street and just like hiring clowns on purpose. And I don't know what kind of legal strategy that is, but it's, it really worked great for Amber.
So this guy said that Amber's psychiatrist, what's his name?
I don't know. But for some context, I guess people don't know. Johnny Depp's team first brought in their psychiatric expert, let's say.
Yeah, so it was a psychiatric expert that took a test about Amber Heard, right? So she sat down with Amber Heard.
She met Amber Heard.
Yeah,
she actually had muffins. I don't know, like muffins. Yeah, she actually had like time with Amber and like I think even a session with Amber. Like
it's a test. It's the one of our friends did that. The M3 something. It's a psychological test to I took that. That's the test that I took, that I told you that my anger issues are pretty high.
Oh, not I'm thinking about the Rorschach test.
I took the Rorschach test too, and I didn't see vaginas, but I definitely saw some weird stuff that apparently my perception of reality isn't all there. Not that I'm crazy, but I might be psychotic. So I took that. I took the what did you say?
Okay.
Yeah, I took that. Fuck you. And then there's a test. It starts with an M something, and then so she took it. It's like 300 something questions, and one of the things that it measures apparently is if you're over exaggerating something. So the Dr. Curry, that's her name, right? The blonde, the blonde one from Johnny Depp's team. She explains that there are certain questions in that test that are like fake questions. They're not really gauging on whether or not you have a certain disease or a certain mental illness. It's more of the people that answer this usually are lying because it's such an extreme case that even the extremes of that mental illness or that have that mental illness don't have those symptoms. Right. And it actually shows up like how truthful you are with your questions, depending on what your answers are. And they're simple questions, dude. It's like, oh, do you get angry at people? Right. Oh, what do you do when you get angry? Right. Or yeah, what do you do when you get angry? It's simple questions.
You hear how extensive this all is, right? This was all part of the trial itself. You know, like it was important. It was I can't think of the pertinent, yes, or there wasn't a stronger word I was thinking of, but it's whatever.
Crucial,
sure. It was crucial for Johnny Depp's side to do this with Amber Heard, because otherwise, how are you going to bring in your expert if they don't know anything about the person they're about to talk about? You're just like essentially bringing in someone to point more fingers. And that's exactly what Amber Heard did.
Yeah.
She brought in her psych expert, and
so she brought in several psych experts, right?
I thought it was just the one.
There were several psych experts that she brought in. So that's Dr. Curry is from Johnny Depp's team. And then she brought in her therapist, right? Which is interesting because Dr. Curry even said, look, the job of a therapist is to help your patient get better, right? Or feel better, get into that you know, to wellness. So as a therapist, your job isn't to not believe your patient. Your job is to help your patient get and feel better, right? But as the test that she did, that was different, right? It was to prove whether or not Amber she had a mental illness, right? Which was, I think, BPD was something else. So that's the second girl that they brought in, right? Was from Amber Heard's team. That was Amber's therapist or psychiatrist. And then they brought in this guy that
Are you gonna play something?
I'm gonna play something.
Okay, because like I feel like you can't easily describe this man.
Man is just, he's a character. He's definitely a character from a cartoon. Okay, here's the dude right here. Okay, it's just interesting
how I've seen him interact in public. How I've seen him interact with others. I've seen him interact in media. I've seen him interact and his process speed is certainly not slow. I've seen him do commercials. His process speed was not slow.
At deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies against his deposition testimony here?
What I said was I've seen Mr. Depp do apology ads. I remember he did an apology ad with Bad Dog with no delay in process speed. I've seen him interact with the media regarding to that. I saw no delay in processing speed. All I'm saying.
Let me ask you about pirates, though. You compared pirates to the depositions given in this case.
Then I apologize for what I said. Then I misspoke.
You misspoke? You didn't make the comparison?
What?
Right now, just a second ago? Just a second ago, I may have said that I misspoke. I apologize, I misspoke.
Okay. Because you know you can't compare pirates to sworn testimony, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
you can do, but as in.
What happened?
He knows now. He literally, like, we watched him figure that out.
When your witness doubles back and says, I misspoke, you know that's not a good witness.
You know you didn't give him the right script.
Sorry, you can judge someone's processing speed at any time. Like I'm judging yours right now, you're judging mine. We all judge process.
Pause it. processing speed. The man's not a fucking computer, you idiot. What are you talking about?
So
My God.
he didn't do a test with Johnny. He didn't do any questionnaire. He literally just watched Johnny Depp's movies, looked at his interviews, looked at the deposition, and said, "Oh yeah, this guy has an
He
issue."
probably didn't even do that. I'm sure he's like he was in a waiting room of his own office or something, and like Pirates was on. He's like, "Oh hey, isn't that a Johnny
processing speed
Depp?"
as a baseline, because of what we know about each other, I would say your processing speed right now is not slow. So, I mean, we're judging processing speed. I'm just saying to you.
Oh my God, dude! I should take a shot every time it's processing speed.
So, but no, any of Mr. Depp's other portrayals in movies, did that affect your analysis of processing speed?
Only I've seen him interact on interviews, and that was it.
Right.
When he wasn't in movies.
Right. But Willy Wonka doesn't matter to you? You see him in that movie, Charlie and Chocolate Factory? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Do I have to answer that?
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No, you'll be happy.
Bro, the judge was like, "Yes, you have to."
Bro, let's make a whole episode about that guy. Like, I want like we're gonna give his full backstory, his childhood, every movie he's ever seen. It's gonna be great.
He's a character, man. He's definitely. It's so wild because he's like, yeah, he reminds me of what's his name, the doctor from Back to the Future,
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown. He reminds me of like a crazier Doc Brown. Okay,
I see it, and now I'm just I'm just imagining Doc Brown on the stand now.
Marty, his processing speed, Marty.
It's too low.
Doc Brown, Amber Heard.
Bro, what was he doing? What was this? Like, what really? What was this?
It was to prove that
No, like what I'm doing. You saw him do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He does that.
Like that's his thing. That's his thinking face.
Dude, he looks, it's uncanny. Look at this. He looks like him.
It's kind of there. Yeah.
It's there. It's not just kind of there. It's a lot there. It's a lot there.
Yeah. One man was a genius to invent time travel while falling off a toilet.
Yeah.
The other one thinks he knows Johnny Depp on a personal level because he saw Pirates.